Hello class, and today we will be going into the last bits of Anor Londo and showing you guys all the secrets that lay therein. So this is basically a big chapel place. As you can see, there's one of the knight guys that I can't get around for some reason. So we're just gonna stick with the best method, is just double slapping them in the face. Works like a charm, and it gets them down every time. So we're just gonna stick with that method for now. And up these long stairs we go. Been to the third floor, surprisingly. The second floor is a little later. So you really don't have to fight these mimics. They don't actually drop anything useful at all. But if you want to, they're available. It's a few extra souls in a neat little fight with a mimic. Plus, if you're like 100% completionist, you want to grab these. They're really just collectible items, though. Basically what these guys drop is a few more of those coins, like the ones we got from Petrus. This guy, I believe, drops a gold one, and the other guy drops 5 silver ones. Their only use is to be sold to Framped, but we'll talk about that more later when we actually do so. Although for now, I think we'll just leave them in our inventory. I think that was the running attack as opposed to the heavy attack. They look really similar, but they're not the same. So yeah. Missed. And I missed there. You can see with Havel's set on, we barely take any damage from these guys. So we're pretty much set. Even though you can't upgrade this armor, it doesn't have to be. It's rated as one of the best right up next to with Smogs, but Smogs is heavy and makes you look fat. So we're just going to stick with what we have on now. And the Eagle Shield's pretty thin, but it works. Anyway, we now have a few more selling items. Those are the only really items that are solely for selling in the game. Solely? Okay. Anyway. Yeah, you may have noticed this is my third video today, but most of you probably won't unless you actually look at the upload dates on the videos, because this is actually my third one today. Unless I ended up uploading it the day after, but I did film it on the same day as the other ones. So yeah. So there we go. So go ahead and run down this way. If you can look down to the left, there's actually another Titaniite demon down there. He's not really guarding anything, so you don't have to fight him either, but he's a few more souls, and this is a walkthrough, so I'm showing you everything possible. And down this way is a little balcony. There's nothing really here, but I think it overlooks a little shortcut that skips half of this area for you. Anyway, down this way is the way you're supposed to be going. This door doesn't open from this side, it's actually a little shortcut, and that door is the way to go. We're actually going to go down this way and kill this guy just for fun, really. So yeah. So that shield bash attack there is their equivalent of a kick, in case you guys are wondering. And this is probably one of the best views in the game right here. Staring right into that wall. But if you look to the left a bit, you can get a really nice view of probably what the designer spent the most time on. Anyway, let's head into this door here, and into some sort of a bedroom. That is a picture of Guinevere. I already showed you a statue. That's the position she is always in. She's just sitting there like that. She is always like that unless you hit her. But we're not actually going to do that in this review until we're perfectly ready and all buffed up and ready for it. So anyway, he's dead. And there. Use that opportunity to show you guys shield bash, which is essentially a kick that actually does a little bit of damage based on how highly advanced your shield is. Some shields actually do damage with that, but not many. It's actually really funny just to knock down the last few hits with your shield. Other than that, it just basically staggers. Although it doesn't actually stagger. More like it interrupts attacks, but I'm not even actually sure what shield bashes are for when you have kick attacks. Maybe they're just a substitute when you're tanking or something. Your quick attack is a little sidestep thing or something, like you saw with Ricard's rapier. Anyway, let's head down this way and meet our old friend Siegmeyer. Hey, so he's a little he's a little annoyed because there's more silver knights in the next room, and he's trying to think of a way to get through them. He's just thinking, we're just going to need more people, of course, but no. We're just going to go in there and massacre them all. So, yeah, go ahead and open this door. and make a quick right, and there's a guy standing in a corner, so you can't backstab him. That is one smart Silver Knight. But he can't stand up to the 2 whacks. The double tap. If any of you get that reference. Anyway. So, there we go. He's dead, and now he's dead for sure. Anyway, same goes for this guy, although a backstab and a shield bash works just fine. So yeah. Here's another chest, which holds not really much. As you can see, there's a picture of a sentinel above it. 2 demon titaniite. Since we're not using boss weapons, all these demon titaniite is kind of redundant, but it's there. So here we are. It's just, that's the door that didn't open from the other side, so it basically just leads out up into the balcony area with a little bit less fighting. So you defeated them, and he's really happy, and he gives you one of these starting items, the Tiny Beings Ring. That is the one that says gives you HP regeneration, but it actually doesn't. It only gives you a little tiny sliver of HP at the end, so it's really not worth it. It's up at the top here. Small increase of HP. It doesn't actually regenerate at all. So yeah, we're just gonna stick with what we have. The Chloranthe Ring is one of my favorites in the game, and the Ring of Steel Protection is the most practical in this zone. These guys are pretty easy to dodge their arrows. For some reason those arrows are really slow moving and they retain all their velocity. Well, then again, this is a video game, so I probably shouldn't be thinking about the physics too much. There's some Dragon Slayer arrows, which can only be used by a specific weapon that we'll be getting later, and one of the variant of it in the DLC. So we're heading down from the roof of the area to the 2nd floor, and from there we will be able to unlock a shortcut and proceed. So the room to the left was the Titaniite Demon. The room straight forward is the way we're supposed to go, and this is a shortcut back down to the 1st floor. I think the developers knew that that this area would get really, really annoying if you had to go through it all over and over and over. So they just made us a shortcut right to the boss fight, pretty much. So anyway, backstab and a shield bash. Anyway, dink. He didn't drop anything for us, so we're gonna go ahead and go down. You might see the other guy standing there. He has the lowest. He has definitely the lowest sensu range in the game. Look at that. You have to get that close for him to activate. Anyway, the backstab and the shield bash works like a charm. And he was guarding the Silver Knight set, which is essentially what I like to call a medium armor, if you consider Havel's a heavy armor. It would be more of a heavy armor set, but with armor sets like Havel's, which are really heavy armor, it's just overshadowed. Anyway, the Silver Knight set is, like I said, medium armor, so it's worse in every respect except weight than Havel's. So we're just gonna, yeah. Anyway, we're gonna run back down to the bonfire here, and I think we're gonna level up a bit. So anywho, there's Solaire sent by the bonfire. So we're gonna try to even out our vitality and endurance, if possible. So it's time to go show you guys the boss fight area and invade Larchek, because this is the area where he actually is available to kill, and he will actually let you revive the Firekeeper, which is really nice. Well, he'll give you back your soul, really. Anyway, if you guys want to, this is actually a pretty good grind spot. Just kill the 4 Silver Knights in this general area, and you'll get plenty of souls. So it is a perfectly viable method, if you guys want to try that. As you can see, this guy's actually really easy if you know how to fight him. But if you don't, you can spend a long time fighting these guys. Especially with some of the newer player characters, who actually are still here with the Drake Sword, which is not a good idea. The Drake Sword is way underpowered for this area. So I sped up this bit in an effort to save time, because you've already seen me fight plenty of Titanite demons. So yeah, it's pretty simple. We have a large open room, and we have a Titanite demon, so we beat him. Yeah. I was actually in danger of dying a few times, but not really, because we're wearing Havel's set and the Eagle Shield. So yeah, And so this is still tedious, even when it's all sped up. But I did save some time. And still, this guy's a lot more health than the other guys do. And still taking too long. And just die already. There we go. That took forever. He wasn't actually guarding anything anyway. I thought he might have been, but no. All he has is a drop of 2 Demon Titanite. We have enough to level up 2 boss soul weapons probably to max, and I don't think any normal enemies that respawn drop Demon Titanite. How do you pronounce that? Anyway. So don't go down those stairs. That's just a recipe for disaster. You're going to want to go up this way. We're actually going to circle around and take the archer on the other side of the room by surprise. But first we have a blacksmith to visit. You might recall that we still have some titanite chunks. This is the material needed to upgrade to the lightning stage, as well as the plus 11 to plus 14 stage. You just need a slab to get it to plus 15. Those are super rare. But anyway, we're going to use the chunks that we have to level up our Zweihander to lightning, which gives it way more damage than it had previously. So this guy is the giant blacksmith. So there's a chest back here which we can't really get. So for now we're just going to use this opportunity to ascend our Zweihander. Now sending shields just gives them damage, which really isn't all that useful. As you see, he's the guy who does boss soul upgrades. So if you have a boss soul and something to spend it on, you can go ahead and take it here. And we're going to go ahead and use this opportunity to repair our equipment. Even though it's not all that damage, especially Havel's, it's still a good idea to keep your equipment in good repair. Anyway, he doesn't sell large titanite shards, but he sells most of the other basic ones. He also sells the giant set and a large array of ammo. So if you want to buy some of those, that's okay. As you can see, we can't upgrade the Havel set or the Goldhelm Black set, so we're not going to worry about that. So we're going to go around to the other side of him. And so as you can see, it does 234 and 234 as opposed to 290 something. So we added quite a bit of lightning damage, which is really nice, especially against drakes and stuff. So you get around behind him, and you can open the chest. This contains the Hawk Ring. This basically, it's pretty much useless, except it upgrades the range of your bows, and just your bows, I think. So yeah. So basically, it just increases your range with your bows a bit. Just a tiny little bit, and it's not even that much. So anyway, as you can see, we now have a cool little lightning sound effect whenever you hit someone. It might get old after a while, but it's still really neat. Although we don't get a visual effect on our Zweihander. That's something to add for Dark Souls 2, maybe. Anyway. So now that that's done, there's an item down here. But first, there's a shortcut up here. Open this door, leads up to the main area where we first entered this area. And that's actually a shortcut directly to the giant blacksmith in the main area of the cathedral. It'll seem a little redundant that there's actually a shortcut there once we open up the main shortcut later, but oh, it's there. That's that for that guy. And this guy, as with the other guy, you could just knock him off a cliff if you had something ranged, because he's got no poise at all. Anyway, here's the item they were guarding. And that's another titanite chunk, so we can upgrade our Zweihander to +1 now. So that's pretty nice. So up this way, and over back to the blacksmith. There's actually quite an abundance of titanite chunks that I didn't notice earlier. But anyway, now that I think about it, I probably could have spent a few souls, gotten a large titanite shard, and upgraded our boulder shield, but well, we can do that later. Yeah, so it's the Lightning Zweihander. It's really stupidly awesome. Although it was toned down a bit because they degraded lightning a bit, but it's still really awesome. Basically just takes the normal damage and multiplies it by 2 and makes it lightning, which is awesomely awesome. Anyway, here's a little crack in the window. This actually leads to a secret weapon called the Dragon Slayer Great Bow. It's the only thing that can fire Dragon Slayer arrows in the game, apart from the Golf's Great Bow, which is a later game secret, really. And it comes with its own Dragon Slayer arrow. Basically, it's just like the Anor Londo archers that I've been showing you guys. It's a super heavy bow that fires super heavy arrows and requires 20 dex and 20 strength to use. So it's a pretty big one. Now, I originally thought there wasn't a way out of here, but then I noticed that one of these doesn't have one of these little arches doesn't have a bar across it. So you can just slip through that one. As you can see, it's to the left here. So just down here, and it leads right out to the giant blacksmith's little zone. Again. Probably could have used an Estus there to make sure we didn't die, but still. That's pretty much all there is to it, so let's go ahead and run back up to the area we were in earlier. And I can finally show you guys the Lorchek boss fight, mini-boss really, and the main boss fight of the zone, along with Solair's help. So a neat little bit is now I get to show you what it's like to actually be a phantom, as being like in someone else's world. So for now I'm actually going to return to the last bonfire and spend a few souls and such. So we're actually going to return to human form and kindle the bonfire so that we can summon Solaire for the boss fight. And we're going to use the soul of a hero we found earlier to level up. So yeah, vitality and endurance are the only two important stats in this zone here, for the rest of the game really. Because we already have our non-scaling weapons and stuff. So anyway, now we have 10 Estus, which is very important for this boss fight, especially if we're going to be using the Evil Shield. So anyway, let's go ahead and run down this way. I probably could have sped up this bit, but, well, it's not that long. So, yeah, as you can see, our backstabs can now one-hit Silver Knights. So we no longer have to rely on a shield bash to finish them off. So that's really nice. As you can see, just normal attacking them isn't that effective. It still takes 4 of those. If 4 unobstructed ones, of course. But it still only takes 2 big hits. So that's something. So, I'm not quite entirely sure what I'm doing here. But as you can see, the Fire Great Scythe, even though it does fire damage, it has a lot less damage, although it does attack a little faster. So it's all preference. Although the bosses of this area, I think, might actually have pretty high lightning resistance. I'm not entirely sure. I managed to beat them regardless. So yeah, you can just stick with your lightning Zweihander if you want to. So go ahead and run down this way, and up these stairs again. Yeah, I really should have sped up this bit, but, well, I didn't, so it's there. And, as I said earlier, you don't want to go go down those stairs because it leads just into the big corridor area, and you'll actually get archer fire on you. Plus, going the other way gives you early access to the Solaire summon spot. So Solaire is the only NPC phantom available for this boss fight because Lorchek betrayed you and there's no one else really to summon. So, down this way. And down this way. You might see the Sunbro summon sign down there. That is Solaire's. We won't actually be able to use it this time because I end up dying, losing my human form, and having to restart the Lorchek boss fight. But it's really not that important. You can still invade Lorchek even if you're in hollowed form. So he's down. Go down this way. And that's the message telling you that you can invade Lorchek. As you can see, though, I lost on my first time trying him. I actually get this bright idea, I think, to invade him up here. So these guys are basically like harder versions of the gold guys. They have a little more health, healing spells, area of effect spells, and basically they're just spellcaster versions that are a little tougher. And they'd like to return to their post. So one good strong plunging attack, and I'm almost down already. That's his area of effect spell. That's it. It's called Wrath of the Gods. You can get it for yourself after you beat the catacombs area mostly. So I don't think I'm gonna show you their heal spell because it's super annoying. But well, yeah, anyway, just drop down here, miss your homing attack. miss your plunging attack, of course. And yeah, these guys are just as annoying with their completely impenetrable shields. And I missed my jump attack, of course. And when you get two of these guys on you at once, it can get really annoying. Especially when there's spellcasting variety. But fortunately, this is the only place in the game that they actually show up. So, it's a little odd. But I guess you do have to fight them a lot, considering how often you have to return to this area if you screw up on the Orange and Smoke boss fight. So, plunging attacks are the most effective method of fighting these guys. But when you plunging attack from a large height, you actually end up losing some health yourself. So, especially there's always the case of missing it and being stunned for a moment. So anyway, we managed to dodge most of their attacks somehow. So it's generally wise to take on only one of these guys at a time, but it's almost impossible because they have really long activation ranges. Anyway, one good plunging attack and they're all both down. Luckily for me. Wait, now it's time to go invade Lortrek, I believe. But first, we're going to put on some lighter armor. We'll still be using the Eagle Shield and the Zweihander. Even though I switch it out, I switch it back for my next attempt. So the most annoying part about Lortrek is his ability to give you damage through your shield. So you have to be really careful with that. And another annoying part about him is he actually has two phantoms helping him. One that's a spellcaster type and one that is a spear. So with Lortrek giving you damage through your shield and chasing you down relentlessly, a spellcaster guy shooting soul arrows at you, another guy that's chasing you with a spike, turtling, it can get really annoying. So I actually sped up this boss fight. As you can see, there they are. Lortrek sounds really funny sped up. It's always funny to make people have a chipmunk voice. But anyway, the goal of this is to kill Lortrek. You don't actually have to kill any of the other phantoms, although you do get some extra souls for doing so. So once you kill Lortrek, you're teleported back to your own world after a brief delay, and you're pretty much set. So yeah, I'm going to try to pop a Humanity here. Humanities actually heal you to full health, as you saw there. As you can see, Lortrek is almost dead, and now he is. So we don't have to worry about his phantoms anymore. It's a souvenir of reprisal. It is the leveling up item for the Blades of the Dark Moon, a secret covenant that focuses on becoming a blue phantom and killing sinners. Which is basically mostly dark wraiths and people who go on murdering NPCs. So we got the Firekeeper Soul for Anastasia, which is the Firekeeper of Firelink, one of the best rings of the game, and 5 humanities. So this ring increases your HP, stamina, and equipment load, but it breaks if you ever take it off. So it's going to be hogging one of our ring slots for a long time now. So anyway, it's time to put our heavy armor back on for the boss fight. And now that we have a much better ring, we are much more set. Now, as you can see, I got my human form back and I leveled up a few times off screen. So here's Solaire. So they guys are chasing me. I seem to get Solaire between me and Solaire, but he backed off and Solaire just got summoned anyway. So anyway, there's Solaire, and he can help me beat these guys much, much more efficiently. So yeah. Solaire's actually really good at fighting, which might be a part of his past as a god of war, possibly. But he did lose all his deity powers, so who knows. Anywho, there's only one left, and we can take him on like men. Anyway, Solaire has lightning bolts, as you can see, the trademark of the Warriors of the Sunlight. And I have my awesome lightning-powered plunging attacks. So we're a good team. Yeah. Anyway, I was considering summoning a player character NPC, but I realized that probably wouldn't be a good idea if I was filming. Anyway, nothing really up here in ways of player character NPCs, so let's go ahead and run over here and grab what he dropped. I believe it's the Giant's Shield, which is actually really nice, but again, for a great shield. Actually, no, it's just another Titanium chunk. Anyway, I think we got the Giant Shield off screen. It's one of those high strength requirement shields, and you can buy it from the Giant Blacksmith if you don't want to loot it. I sped up this boss fight as well, but I somehow managed to save the cutscene even though I had to do multiple attempts on this boss fight. I didn't speed up the cutscene because sped up cutscenes were annoying. Anyway, here is Executioner Smough with his gigantic hammer. And over here is Dragon Slayer Ornstein with his lightning-powered spear. And he'll drop down. And there's many nicknames, but the one I'll be using here is the Super Londo Bros. I sped it up and the music's really loud, so I'm going to try to talk a little louder. So yeah, as you can see, we're fighting two of them at once. The fast one and the heavy one. Once you kill one, the other one powers up, regains all his health, and gains an ability from the other guy. Ornstein becomes huge like Smough, and Smough gets lightning powers. So, and they get fully healed, so it's not really worth it to focus on attacking. Slayer's really helping by keeping Smough off me in this fight. That's pretty nice. So now that Smough's dead, a cutscene will play and Smough will teleport. So Smough will now use his hammer to absorb Ornstein's lightning powers. And I posted a screenshot of this on Steam. This is the lightning-powered fat guy. Anyway, now I'm going to have to focus on him. So as you can see, he has some pretty nice health there. But Slayer's really helping out, getting his health down. He's actually a lot harder than I make it look. But his attacks are all slow, so if you know when to hit him, then you're pretty set. But if you screw up, you're screwed. As you can see, I almost died there with that huge heavy attack. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I was only hit by the tip of his handle there. As you can see, Slayer's dead, and he's only about half health. But luckily, I still have about 4 Estus left, so we're set. I'm actually using rolling in this. Rolling is still a viable method, even if you're fat rolling. So yeah. So the best method is to get into an attack where you can get staggered for a bit, and as with most bosses, get around behind him and bait an attack that hits him in the front. So that was Smough. That is the easy way to beat them. If you beat Smough first, you get the harder way, but you get a nice little ring, which increases the counter damage of thrust attacks. He also gave us the Soul of Smough, which lets us create Smough's hammer if we have a great hammer set to plus 10 with the giant blacksmith. So, if you guys want to do that, that's fine, but it has the highest strength requirement of any weapon in the entire game. It also has a little HP leech effect when you hit someone with it. So it's really only for really dedicated strength builds. So we're probably going to end up consuming that, as with most of the other boss souls, because we already have good enough weapons. So the same with the Iron Golem, it's used to make a high-powered fist weapon. But since we don't have any fist weapons and we're sticking with this Zweihander, we're not going to use that. This is Lord Trek's armor. You could only get that if you killed Lord Trek. It's another medium set, pretty much. And it makes you look kind of like Lord Trek with heavy shoulders and stuff, but, well, it's not really worth it. So we're just going to stick with tables as we always have. Although we are wearing Lord Trek's ring. So yeah, let's go ahead and run down this way. And this is the first example of a post-boss fight bonfire. It is kind of foreshadowing. There's actually nowhere to go except through that door up those stairs. So anyway, we're going to put a few points in here, a point in there, and we're set. So that's done. Let's go ahead and consume the Iron Golem core because we won't be using it. Because it's used mainly for fist weapons. As you can see, we're still a little short, unfortunately. So, oh well, we'll just go continue the story here. Into these gates is Guinevere herself, supposedly. We'll talk about that more later when we actually get deeper into the mystery, but this is actually an illusion. So, the actual Guinevere is far away from this place. So, yeah. So she's Guinevere, Queen of Sunlight and daughter of Lord Gwyn. So she's been waiting here for the successor, and she's going to give us the Lord Vessel. As you can see, we can now warp between bonfires, and the Lord Vessel is an important quest item that allows us to continue the story and open up the next 4 areas of the game. And eventually unlock the final area and defeat Gwyn. So there's a lot of there's a lot of really innuendo-ish messages in this area, like that one that was weakness thrust. So for you younger viewers, just don't read any messages in there. For you older viewers, have fun getting the humor. Anyway, as you can see, we can now warp to most bonfires, of course, that we've been to. So we're going to go ahead and warp back to Firelink. Even though it's off, we can still warp to it. We'll be using this warp function a lot. So yeah, here we are back at Firelink. Sigmar's new addition to the party. So you just answer yes here, and he's really happy, and he will give you a miracle called Emit Force, which is just like the Force miracle except it's ranged. So he'll actually go down to Blight Town. Once he disappears from here, we head down to Blight Town, give him a few poison moss. Give him a few poison moss, and he'll be back up and ready to complete the questline. Anywho, over here is where the Firekeeper used to be. We can give her back her Firekeeper soul. And we now have a Firekeeper, and the fire is back on. Awesome. And now she can talk because we restored her tongue. So apparently she doesn't like talking or something. So that's kind of weird. But yeah, we have a Firekeeper now, and Firelink is back up and running. So that's pretty nice. So we have Firelink back open. And yeah, that's pretty much all for this video. We'll be continuing on with the story. I'll be showing you New Londo in the next video because I'm going to walk through and I show you guys everything possible. So anyway, that's all for this video, I believe. Yeah, it's almost time to be over now. And we'll see you guys in the next video where we head down into New Londo Ruins.